श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। किम एतस्मात् एव आसन्नतमः समाधिभिः भवति अतः यस्य लाभे भवति अन्योपि कश्चित् उपायो न वा इति। This question is raised that this asampradyat samadhi, whether it is possible only by this intense longing and by the intense involvement of the seeker, as explained in the shlok number, sutra number 22, mrudu madhyadi matratvopi tatopi visheshaha. Is it only by that or there is any other way? Because we don't have that intense longing, sir, what to do? Our spiritual search is, I think there is something, let us try. So there is no full involvement commitment. So for people like us, is there any way or not? So in reply to this, the scripture the sutra tells us there is a way. What is that? Sutra number 23. Ishvara pranidhanadva. Yes, this asamprajñāt samadhi is possible to be established instantaneously, quickly, very fast by Ishvara pranidhanat, by Ishvara pranidhana. What is the meaning of Ishvara pranidhana? When pranidhana bhakti visheshat avarjitaha ishvaraha tam anugruhnati abhidhyana matrena tat abhidhyana matradapi yoginaha asannatamaha samadhi labhaha samadhi phalancha bhavatiti. So, what is this pranidhana? What is the meaning of pranidhana? So, the pranidhana is that prakarshena nidhiyate anena iti pranidhanam. Pranidhana is by the upasana, by surrender, by propitiating the divine grace, by shraddha bhakti. So, pranidhana bhakti visheshat. Avarjitaha. Avarjitaha is when the Lord is propitiated. Propitiated means what? He is, his attention is drawn to us. Propitiation means what is? Drawing the attention of the Lord. And how the attention of the Lord will be drawn to us? If we are seeking Him, if we are singing His glories, if we are devoted to Him, if we are talking about Him, if we are thinking about Him. And like our 9th chapter told, yat karoshi yadashnasi yad juhosi dadasi yad tapashyasi kaunteya. This include even the yoga abhyas, tat kurushva madarpanam. So, by this, pranidhanat bhakti visheshat, by utkata bhakti, by intense devotion. So, avarjitaha ishvaraha, prasaditaha. In this manner, when the Lord is propitiated, then what happens? Tam yoginam abhidhyana matrena. Abhidhyanam sankalpa ichha. Eva iti tathoktam tena. So, abhidhyana means the very sankalpa of the Lord. Now, about this, an example will make it clear. You know, Sankalpa Shakti is develop in a yogi when they are functioning from the Pashyanti Vani. Because in Pashyanti Vani, the thought and the meaning of the thought, they are not separated yet. In Vaikhari Vani, the word and the meaning of the word are separated. Like when I say pencil, so pencil is the word and this object is called as pencil. So this is at the level of the Vaikhari Vani. Then I think about the pencil. So here thinking is where the thought is a thought and the object is also a thought. So I am thinking that if I get a very good pencil, I will be able to draw a nice picture. So this thought is also a thought as well as the pencil is also in a thought form. That is the Madhyama Vani. And when we go to the Pashyanti Vani, there the thought and the object, they are not yet differentiated. They are one. And therefore, when the yogis are able to do any sankalpa, that happens because there the sankalpa or the thought and the object are not two, they are one. And Ishvara is beyond that. He is living at the para level. And therefore, only abhidhyana matrena, abhidhyanam sankalpa ichha. So only by sankalpa, only by the thought, he willed, and by his will everything, what is that? Asampradnyat. Samadhi and what is the result? Phalanchaiti kaivalya prapti. Both these things can happen. So asannatamaha, they become very much easily. How it is? Anugrunhati tad abhidhyanat api yoginaha samadhi labha phalancha asannatamaha bhavati. So by his very will or sankalpa for the yogi, samadhi labha, the asampradnya samadhi and phala. Phala is kaivalya prapti. They are immediately available. In this manner, it is the Ishvara by whose grace everything is possible. Now you know what we have to understand is like this. You know the Ishvara of Vedantis or the devotees, Ishvara of the yogis and Ishvara of the devotees, they are different understanding about Ishvara. Ishvara of the Vedantis who? That Parabrahma Paramatma is Nirgun Nirakar, attributeless and formless. When this attributeless, formless reality is referred with reference to his unmanifest potentiality, Avyakta Shakti, Avyakta Namna Paramesha Shakti. So when he is referred with reference to that, then he is called as Ishvara. And in case of the Yoga Shastra, this Ishvara is the Saguna Nirakara. In case of the Vedanta, that is Nirgun Nirakar, here is Saguna Nirakar. Saguna Nirakar means what? He is having all the attributes, compassionate, love, he can do sankalpa, he can bless, etc., etc. And in case of the devotees, he is Saguna Sakar. He can take the form as well as the attributes. Now here, the basic difference between the Ishvara as defined by the Vedanta and here, Ishvara is Mayopadhi, Chaitanya is called as Ishvara. So Chaitanya, consciousness with the conditioning of the Maya is called as Ishvara. And who is the Jiva? Jiva is Antakarana Avachinna Chaitanya is called as the Jiva. So when the Panchakoshas are the conditioning, that consciousness is called as Jiva. And when Maya is the conditioning, the same consciousness is called as Ishvara. Therefore, there being many Panchakoshas, there are many Jivas. and there being only one Maya, there is only one Ishvara. This is how it is explained there. But here you will see that Ishvara is also having Antakaran, Sattva Shuddhi Upadhi, and Jiva also in the Asamprajñat Samadhi. What is that? This is a very good topic. We'll take it in the next 24th Sutra. So, Atha Pradhana Purusha Vyatiriktah Koyam Ishvaro Nameti. A question is raised, Sir, in our Sankhya Shastra, there are only 25 tattvas. What is the Jagat? Jagat is Purusha, we are many, and Prakriti. And in that Prakriti, it is Avyakta, and then the Mahat or the Buddhi, then the Ahankar or the Asmita, and thereafter the Pancha Tanmatras. From Pancha Tanmatras, all the gross 5 great elements, and from the Asmita, the 11 Indriyas, Ekadasha Indriyani. In this manner, it becomes 25. So, this 24 plus 1 Purusha, 25. So, there are 25, and where from the 26th fellow has dropped in. Therefore, Koyam Ishvaraha, Pradhana Purusha Vyatiriktah. Other than the Pradhana, Prakriti, and the Purusha, who is this in addition to this? We do not know. So now Ishvara is defined. Klesha karma vipaka ashayaihi aparamrushtaha purusha visheshaha Ishvaraha. Avidyadayaha kleshaha. So, Purusha Visheshaha Ishvaraha. The separate, someone very distinct Purusha is called as the Ishvara. So, who is that separate and someone very special? Means what? He is a Purusha, he is a Purusha only. But someone very special. Like, the Prime Minister is the citizen only, but he is some special citizen. In the same manner, Ishvara is a Purusha alone, but he is Vishesha, Purusha Vishesha. So who is that? Klesha Karma Vipaka Ashayaihi. By these 4, Klesha Karma Vipaka and Ashaya, when he is not touched, influenced by any one of them, that Purusha Vishesha is called as the Ishvara. And this Purusha Vishesha Ishvara is to be known. So, what is the meaning of this each term? Klesha Karma Vipaka Ashaihi Aparamrushtaha. So, Kleshadayaha Kleshaha, Avidyadayaha Kleshaha. So he explains in the Bhashya. I will read the Bhashya, few of them. Avidyadayaha kleshaha kushala kushalani karmani tat phalam vipakaha tat anuguna vasana ashayaha techa manasi vartamana purushe vyapadishyante sahi tat phalasya bhokteti yatha jayapara jayova yodhrushu vartamanaha swamini vyapadishyate यो हि अनेन भोगेन अपरामृष्टः स पुरुष विशेष ईश्वरः कैवल्यं प्राप्तः तर्हि सन्ति च बहवः केवलिनः. Now up to here, before this last line is the description of the Ishvara. Now who is this Ishvara? First, Klesha Adi. So which are the Klesha? Avidyadaya Kleshaha. So Avidya, Ragadvesha, Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. These are the 5 kleshas. And then Kushala, Kushalani, Karmani. So Dharma, Adharma, Roop, Karma, Janya, Samskar. Then third, Tat Phalam. Tasya Karma, Janya, Samskarasya Phalam eva Vipakaha Uchyate. So whatever karma is done, as the result, you get the result of this karma. So karma phala is called as the Vipakaha. And then, as a result of this vipaka, again, from because of this vipaka karma phala, we are getting the jati ayur bhogaha. So the jati, the birth, ayu, the longevity and bhoga. And because of this bhoga, these three, tad gunaha vasana ashayaha. And because of these ashayaha, one is again gathering the samskar. They are called as the vasana or the ashayaha. In this manner, the Purusha in whom these four kleshas are never there. See? They are never there. And as a result, he is asanga and nirlepa. So he is called as the Purusha Ishvara. So this special kind of Purusha is called as Ishvara. Now, here one very important topic is taken. Actually, if you remember what we have studied earlier, Purusha is basically the one who is always alipta, asanga. Then, whatever are the three gunas and their modifications, etc., they are existing in the mind. But they are superimposed on the Purusha. Like when the mind is disturbed, the Purusha, I is disturbed. When the mind is calm, I is calm. Therefore, techa manasi vartamanaha purushe vyapadishyanti. So all these four things, like the klesha, karma, vipaka, ashaya, all of these four of them, they are purusha, they are manasi vartamanaha. They are existing in the mind, but purushe vyapadishyate. They are considered or they are superimposed on the Purusha. Here, they avoid to use the word superimposition. Therefore, upacharyanti, upacharadaha kathyanti. Upacharadaha kathyanti means it is mentioned as if they are in the Purusha, but actually they are not. And therefore, tat phalasya bhokta iti kathyate. And therefore, the Purusha is considered to be the bhokta, the experiencer of all the modification. Actually, he is not. Therefore, he yasmad sa purushasya kleshadehe phalasya sukha dukkhayoho swasmin pratibimba taya bhokta bhavati ityartaha. So this Purusha is reflected in the vrittis and reflected what we call chidavasa. He is considered as the bhokta, enjoyer, like what he has given some example. Like jaya parajayo va yodhrushu vartamanaha. In the battle or in the war, it is the army which is going and fighting. And when the army is defeated, the king is defeated. And when the army wins, the king wins. So actually he is not doing anything. In this manner, yodhrushu vartamanaha swamini vyapadishyate. In the same manner, all these buddhigata, klesha, karma, vipaka, vasana, etc., they are in buddhi. But in this buddhi, the Purusha is reflected as chidabhasa, and then it is considered as that it is superimposed on him, and then aham dukhi, aham sukhi ityadi, he becomes the experiencer. And this is called as the jiva. And therefore, the jiva is not necessarily a bhokta, but he is only imagined to be called as a bhokta, and therefore the experiencer become the jivatma Purusha. Here actually, after you have the understanding of jiva, Purusha, chidabhasa according to Vedanta Shastra, this doesn't get into our system. Because the first problem comes, there are many Purushas. Very difficult to digest. Because when you say, the Purusha is Chaitanya, the Purusha is Nirlepa, Nissanga, Asanga, then how they can be many? Isn't it? It may be appearing, but this is how the foundation of the Sankhya Shastra is. And therefore, each Purusha is growing and then he gets, like, So, किंतु यो हि अनेन भोगेन अपरामृष्टः असंपृक्तः स पुरुष विशेषः ईश्वरः. Therefore, by the modification of these various kinds of sukha dukkha in the vritti or the antakaran, the Purusha is superimposed and he becomes Jiva. And when he is not affected by them, then he becomes Ishvara. So, Sa Purusha Visheshaha Ishvara. So, Vilakshana Purusha Ishvara. Now, here, Kaivalya Prapta Tarhi Santi Cha Bhavaha Kevalinaha. Now, here, another aspect about the Ishvara is taken into consideration. And what is that? Kaivalyam Prapta Tarli Santi Bhavaha Kevalinaha. There are many Kevali. Kevali means those who have attained the Kaivalya Dasha. There are many Santi. There are many Purushas who have attained Kaivalya, that is, those who are liberated, many of them. Tehi, those liberated persons, Trini Bandhanani, in them the three kinds of bondages were there earlier. And therefore they are called as Mukta, isn't it? Unless somebody is bound, how they can be referred as liberated afterwards? A person who has never gone to the jail, can he called that now he is released from the jail? No, first he has to go to the jail. So, which are these three bandhas? Prakritik bandha, Vaikarika bandha and Dakshina bandha. Prakritik bandha is the bondage born out of this Ashtadha Prakriti. So when the Jiva is taking the Abhimana or the Purusha is identified with this Ashtadha Prakriti, that is called as Prakritika Bandha. And the second is Vaikarika Bandha, when the Purusha or the Jiva is identified with the objects of enjoyments, then it is called as the Vaikarika Bandha. And the third is Dakshina Bandha. Dakshina Bandha is the bondage born out of the karma which are done by this Jiva. In the Kashmiri Shaivaism, this is called as Dakshina Bandha is called as what is called Anumala, Anvamala. So, Anvamala, and then the second is Vaikarika Bandha and Prakritika Bandha. So, as these bandhas were present in these Mukta Purushas before they were liberated, in this manner, in Ishvara these bandhas were not present. So, यथा वा प्रलीन प्रकृति लीनस्योतरा बंधकोटि संभाव्यन्ते सातु न एवं ईश्वरस्य. So those who were liberated, therefore in them the prior to liberation the bondages are accepted. In this way there was never a time when there were bondage in the Ishvara also. Therefore Ishvara is always liberated. Satu na evam Ishvarasya. So, Satu Sadaiva Muktaha, Sadaiva Ishvaraha, both. He is always liberated and he is always Ishvara. Prakrushta Sattva Upadanat. Now here is the one which, gives little khat. Prakrushtam Vishuddham Apahata Rajastamo Malam Sattvam Tasya Upadanam Swikaranam Granam Tasmat Prakrushta Sattvopadanat Rajastama Samparka Shunyam Shuddha Samparka Shunya. So in this is the conditioning of the Ishvara. That means the conditioning of the Ishvara is the same Antakaran but which is absolutely free from Rajas and Tamas. So Ishvarasya asau Shashvatikaha Utkarshaha. And therefore, this is the natural and eternal condition of the Ishvara. And sa kim nimittaha? So, how this is possible? What is the authority? Authority, he himself is the authority. There is no authority required for the Ishvara. And in this manner, so, ईश्वर सत्वे वर्तमानयोः एतयोः शास्त्रोत्कर्षयोः अनादि संबंधः. Ishvara, his glory, and the Shastra, they are not two. It is Ishvara alone who has given the Shastra. Therefore, their relationship is Vachya Vachaka Sambandha, etc. And therefore, the conclusion is Ishvara is Sada Eva Ishvaraha and Sada Eva Muktaha. And this Ishvara is Ishvara where there is no comparison with anyone. Because if there is another Ishvara, then there will be a problem of who is controlling whom. And therefore, there is but one Ishvara. And this is Purusha Vishesha, is called as the Ishvara. This is, in short, is the Ishvara Tattva according to Yoga. Now, one more thing about this Ishvara, that this Ishvara never takes the avatar, like the avatar taken in the Vedanta or the devotion. He never takes avatar. And yet he is able to, bless the yogis to progress spiritually. Now, after having said this, now this Ishvara, one more aspect is that he is Sarvajna. But Sarvajna, how Sarvajna? Not ordinary Sarvajna, but he is the ultimate. And therefore, Tatra Niratishayam Sarvajna Bijam. Now, in this Ishvara, Sarvajnata is to the peak. More than that, there is no Sarvajnata. So, like, Yad idam atita anagata pratyutpanna pratyeka samuchayad indriya grahanamalpam bhaviti sarvajna bijam etadhi vartamanam yatra nirdishayam sa sarvajnaha. The one in whom the complete knowledge about the total past, total future and the total present is unhindered. He is called as the Niratishayatvam. So, there is nothing more to be known beyond this. And this knowledge about the Bhut Bhavishya Vartaman, it is Vardhamanam Yatra Nirtishayam Sa Sarvajnaha. And therefore, this knowledge which is lesser than this can grow, etc. But in him, in this Purusha, this knowledge about the total past, total present and total future has reached the peak, and therefore this is called as the Sarvajnata Bija, is the essence of Sarvajnata. Etadhi Vardhamanam Yatra Niratishayan. So like something like this, a yogi, he knows more than an ordinary person. So an ordinary person knows up to a particular limit. He doesn't know beyond that. But the yogi is able to little more than that. But he is not Sarvajna. So in this manner, among the yogis also there are different achievements. Like some yogis have got one or two powers, some has got more of them. That means the Sarvajnata is slowly growing according to the growth of this yogi. But in case of Ishvara, it has reached the ultimate, and therefore it is called as the Niratishaya Bijatvam Sarvajna in Ishvarasya. Therefore, this Ishvara is Agamataha Paryanvesha. Now this Ishvaratva Samanya Matra Upasamhari cha Krutakshay Anumanam cha Vishna Vishesha Pratipatu Samartamiti. So, further, this Ishvara Tasmad Atmanam Anugraha Bhavepi Bhutanugraha Prayojanam Jnana Dharmopadeshena कल्प प्रलय महाप्रलयेषु संसारिणः पुरुषानो उद्धरिष्यामि इति. And this Ishvara, who is total free, all knower, he is able to do the uddhar of the devotees or the seeker. And about this it is said that this in Bhagavad Purana it is said, Panchame Kapilo Nama Siddhesha Kala Viplutam Provaj Suraye Sankyam Tattva Grama Vidirnayam. So this Kapila is also not Ishvara, nor he is the avatar of the Ishvara, but he is the Siddha Purusha, Kevali. And this Kevali, the Kapila Muni, he has given this knowledge because in case of our Yoga Shastra, avatar is not acceptable. Now this Ishvara, therefore he is a Saguna Nirakar. He is ever present and formless. Being formless, he can be manifesting anywhere in the form of this grace. So the Yoga Ishvara cannot become pratyaksha as the Ishvara of the devotees. So for example, our Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to see the Mother Kali, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to have the vision of Lord Krishna. Our Tulsidas Ji Maharaj had the vision of Hanuman Ji as well as Bhagwan Ramachandra Lakshman Ji. So this kind of vision of the God cannot, vision of the Ishvara cannot be, because he is Saguna Nirakar. So this Ishvara is blessing in the form of the growth on the spiritual path, wherein the sadhaka is able to establish himself in the asamprajnat samadhi and kaivalya. Now this Ishvara is further continuing. Purveshamapi guruhu kalena anavachchedat. Kalena anavachchedat, being not conditioned by time, saha purvesham api guruhu. This Ishvara is the guru of all the gurus. Purvehi guruvaha kalena avachchidyante yatra avachchedanatena kala nopavartate. Sa esha purvesham api guruhu yathasya sargasyadau प्रकर्षगत्या सिद्धस तथा अतिक्रांत सर्गादिशोपि प्रत्येतव्यः. Now this Ishvara is पूर्व सर्गोत्पन्नानां ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश्वरादीनां कपिलादीनांच. This Purvesham of all the earlier, who are the earlier Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Kapila, etc. Even before them also api guruhu upadeshta. And kalena samayena anavachchedat, anavacchinnatvat, cannot be conditioned, because Ishvara is anadi, and therefore he is the sa guru purvesham api. He is the guru, he is the real guru. Now purvehi guravaha, the Bhashya, purvehi guravaha kalena avachchidyante. कालेन अवच्छिद्यन्ते समयेन सीमिता भवन्ति ते यत्र कालः अवच्छेदानर्थेन नोपावर्तते. But in the Ishvara, before the time was born, the Ishvara is there, and therefore how can the Ishvara be conditioned by the time? And sa esha purvesham api guruhu. स प्रक्रांत ईश्वर आद्यानाम गुरुणाम अपि गुरु उपदेष्टा अस्ति. Therefore this Ishvara is the original guru, and who has given this knowledge to all the gurus, and therefore asya sargasyado prakarshagattya siddha asid. Therefore his existence is even before the first guru was born. That is why one of the prayers in the this Vedic or Vedantic prakriya is, if they are the followers of Lord Shiva, then they will start Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. And if they are the followers of Narayana, then they delete Sadashiva. They add Narayana. Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. And if they are not the follower of this Advaita, then they will put the name of their Acharya. In this manner, ultimately all of them trace back the Guru to this Purvesham Api Guru Ishvaraha. That is why, according to these yogis, you will see that they are mainly involved in Dhyanabhyas. They do not give much importance to this Saguna Sakara Upasana. For example, this, what is his name? Lahiri Mahasaya, one of the greatest yogi of the time, he had been always advising his devotees, followers, only the Kriya Yoga, where only the yogic prakriyas were taken care of and they are all happening. He has never advised anybody to do the japa, that Ramanam or Shiva japa, nothing of the sort. He said, you keep on observing your pranas, movement and all that, everything will take care, the Lord takes care inside. Therefore, the yogis take the Guru to be and the Ishvara to be the Saguna Nirakar and therefore available inside. Therefore, this Guru is Sargasya Adau Prakarshagatya Siddhaha. Even before the Sarga, the creation, he is definitely existing there. And Atikranta Sarga Dishu Api. And also when there is a total dissolution, that time also the Guru remains as it is. And in this manner, this Guru or the Ishvara has to be recognized as before the creation and after the creation also, because he is not influenced by, touched by these Sarga Sthiti Laya or the Karma, Vipaka, etc. Now, if we have to, because Ishvara Pranidhanadva was the sutra, when you propitiate Ishvara, then you are able to get the Asampradnya, Samadhi and Kaivalya. Now the question comes, if he is like Krishna, etc., you can sing his glory, or if he is like Ganapati, Saguna Sakara, you can sing and talk and everything is possible. But how to talk to the Saguna Nirakara? You go on imagining how he must be, where he must be. So, how do we practice the devotion to the Saguna Nirakara Guru? And for that, the next sutra tells, Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. Now, Tasya Ishvarasya or Tasya Guroho Vachakaha Pranavaha. So, the Vachaka is the indicator. It is the Abhidhana. So, like pencil. Now, pencil, this is the Abhidhana. And this object called as the pencil is called as Abhidheya. So, Tasya Ishvarasya or the Guroho, this Ishvara is the object and it is indicated by the word which is Pranava, Onkara. So, Vachya Ishvaraha Pranavasya. So, Pranav is the word which is indicating the meaning of the word is Ishvara. So, now, after this here the definition of the Ishvara, the Pranava is given very nicely. Tasya Ishvarasya Pranavaha Prakarshena Nuyate Stuyate iti Pranavaha. Om is the best method of glorifying anybody or anything. And therefore, Om is only Dhvani Rupa, and by this all other names are formed, and it is Avati iti Om. The one who is the protector is also called as the Om or the Pranava. Now, Now this relationship between the Om, Omkara and the Ishvara, what is the relationship? स्थितोस्य वाच्य वाचकेन सह संबंधः अस्य वाच्यस्य ईश्वर अर्थस्य this वाच्य the meaning of the word Om, the sambandha sthitaha is always there. It is eternal. Nobody has given name to Ishvara as Om. Like we are given name by our parents, So yesterday somebody phoned me, Swamiji, this, my child is born and his name has to be given and her has come. So we don't know what to do, so I have given Havish. I said, don't give that name, you give some better name. Then what I should do? I said, her, there is nothing better than Hari Om. You give the name Hari Om. Hari Om can be named. I said, why not? When Tinku, Pintu, Dum Dum, Mun Mun, and these could be the names, why Hari Om could not be? Otherwise give the Harris, or Henderson, give that name. So, in case of the people or the children born, we have to give name. But in case of Ishvara, the name is not given. Ishvara is indicated by Om, their sambandha is eternal. Therefore, Sanketastu Swabhavikam eva nityam. So, by this sambandha, the relationship is indicated, but the meaning is not indicated. So, meaning you have to discover. Means what? Sometime, suppose somebody comes and I have to send that boy, go to the hostel and tell Gita to do this thing. So I had told that fellow will come. So the student and her name, the sambandha is already there. Now he will have to come and find out who is Gita. Instead of that, if he goes to the library, Swamiji has told me to talk to Gita, which is the shelf. And he goes there and starts searching and takes one book out of the library and start talking. Then it is his fault. In the same manner, this Om or the Pranava and the Ishvara, their sambandha is eternal. But you have to find out the meaning of this Om is Ishvara, means who is that Ishvara? And for that, the next sutra tells us that how this sambandha can be invoked, and we find out the meaning of the Om as Ishvara. Make this point very clear. So in the 28th sutra, Vijñāta Vācya Vācakatvasya Yoginaha. So the yogi who knows that the meaning of Om is Ishvara. Now, do you remember this Om we have studied in our Kaivalya Upanishad, if you remember? And there we were told, what we were told? Atmanavaradim krutva pranavam chottaradim jnana nirmathanabhyasat pasham dahati panditaha. Kaivalya Upanishad. So do the jnana nirmanthanam. Churn the meaning of the Om. And what meaning we have churned out? That Om has got the three matras, A, Uma. A indicates Jagrat, U indicates Sapna, Ma indicates Sushupti, and that which is permeating all the three and yet is beyond the three is called as the Om. In this manner, do the churning, Jnana Nirmathanabhyasat Pasham Dati Pandita. In our Mundakopanishad we will come across. Pranavo dhanu sharo yatma brahmatallakshamuchyate apramatena vedhavya sharavat tanmayo bhavet. Pranavo dhanu. Pranav is the bow Sharo Yatma, and the arrow is the Jiva. And Brahmata Lakshamuchyate, and the destination is the absolute reality. And Apramattena Vedhavyaha, and without any inadvertence, laziness, etc., with all alertness and commitment, Vedhavyaha, you have to shoot the arrow at the destination called as the Brahma. And Sharavat, like the bullet or the arrow enters into the target, in the same manner, let the Jiva, the relativity, dissolve and disappear in the absolute. There also this Om is used. This is the use or the meaning of Om for contemplation according to the Vedantic thought. In our Kathopanishad we have seen Sarve Veda Yat Padam Mamananti Tapamsi Sarvani Jayaccharanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi Om Itte Tata. Again their Om comes. So, how do we propitiate this Ishvara who is indicated by the name Om? This is the topic we are discussing. Now see how important it is. If it is Krishna, Rama, Govinda, Devi, Ganapati, then what we do? Nicely, Shodashopachar Puja is easier to do. So you have the Vigraha Laddu Gopal. There is one Amma who is a devotee of Laddu Gopal. One day she came, she said, Swamiji, I don't know, I have been doing the seva of Laddu Gopal for many years, and every night before I go to sleep, I put him also to sleep. In one particular side, when his hand is having Laddu, that way I put him. Now it is made out of metal, so I put like that. And then in the morning, early morning, my daughter dreamed. They tell your mummy that my hand and the side is paining very much. Don't put me like that, I don't like it. Put me the other way around. So in the morning, the daughter said, Mummy, why do you put Lalla in this way to sleep? He is getting pain on that side. So put the other way around. So she says, Swamiji, what is this? I said, what is this what? You only told me, you know what it is. But really it happens. I said, why not? See? Why it will not happen? Because you are not treating that Vigraha as a metal. See? If he is the Arya Samadhi, if he is the yogi, he will treat it as a metal. But you are neither of them. You are a pure devotee of the Lord. See? Bhagavan Sri Krishna can say that Yat karoshi, yat juhosi, dadasi, yat tapashyasi kaunteya, tat kurushu madarpanam. Can Om say this? Om cannot say. Why? He cannot talk. He doesn't have a mouth. See how important it is. Now the question comes, how do we propitiate this Saguna Nirakara Ishvara indicated by the Vachaka Pranava? This is the question. And this question is replied in the 28th Sutra, Tajjapa Tadartha Bhavanam. So, by doing the japa of Om and Tad Artha Bhavanam, and do the bhavana on the meaning of this Om. Meaning, do the dhyan on the meaning of Om. So, meaning of Om is Ishvara. So, you do the dhyana that Ishvara I am propitiating, like that. Pranavasya japaha, pranava abhidheyasya cha Ishvarasya bhavanam. Tadasya yoginaha pranamam japataha pranavartham cha bhavayataha chittam ekagram sampadhyate. Now see what Bhagavan Vedavyas is telling. The purpose of doing the pranava upasana according to Yoga Shastra is to ultimately attain chitta ekagrata. Because unless our chitta has entered the Ekagra Bhumika, there is no possibility of even the Sampradnyata Samadhi. Is it not? Sampradnyata Yoga Samadhi is possible only when the Chitta has become Ekagra. So, what this Tajjapa Tadartha Bhavanam does, as Bhagavan Veda Vyasa says, Bhavayatha Chitta Ekagram Sampadyate. And the problem of all the seekers is only this, that their Chitta remains either Kshipta, Muda or the Vikshipta. And therefore they are not able to progress on the Sampradnyat or the Asampradnyat Samadhi. So by this Onkara, the effect comes directly on the Chitta. The Chitta becomes Ekagra. See? You remember in Panchadashi, we were told that Dirgham Pranavam Uchcharya Manorajyam Praliyate. Manorajyam is the first three conditions, three bhumikas of the Chitta. The Kshipta, Muda and the Vikshipta, these three things together is called as the Manorajya. So this Manorajya can be quietened by the Onkara. So Tajjapa. There is one book in which there are so many methods of Upasana through Onkara is told, hundreds of them. So when you do the Japa of Ram, how we do? Sri Ram, Sri Ram, Sri Ram, or Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Now how we'll do the japa of the Om? Om, 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 Om. Now be attentive. When we say Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, there is some kind of image, whatever we have studied, learned about Bhagavan Krishna and his glory, that starts manifesting. Because the meaning of the Sri Krishna word is elaborately known to us through a lot of literature that we have gone through. Similarly, when we do the japa of Rama, Sri Rama, Sri Rama, Sri Rama, that time we never get in front of our eyes the image of Sri Rama bringing out the tongue outside and taking all the skulls in his hand. What happened, Rama? I never expected you to come in this funny attire. So we have some kind of association with the various names of the Saguna Sakara Ishvara. But when it comes to the Onkara, now see what happens. When we say Om, see, the mind does not take any particular form. It takes to some extent. If we are a Bengali, our Om is in one straight line, multi-storied. If you are Tamilian, then it is Gum Paragarke. If we are adding the Vedic Om, it is simple Om. Our Kaivalyadham Om, you see. So every Om, some or the other Om, the form will come in front of us. But the meaning of that word Om is only that our mind gets dissolved. No particular shape or no particular form ever remains in the mind. And as a result, the mind becomes ekagra. And this ekagrata attained in the mind as a chanting of the Om is called as bhavana. Now this ekagrata, formless, undisturbed experience is the Ishvara. He is the Ishvara. Now see, which is the Upanishad? In Mundaka Upanishad, this thing comes. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vruksham parishashvajate tayoranya pippalam swadumatti anashnan anyaha avichakashiti See the definition of Ishvara. Karma ashaya ityadi asansprushtaha purush visheshaha Ishvaraha. Like what? On the same branch on a tree are seated two birds, and they are Sayuja Sakhaya. They are exactly the reflection of each other. Out of them, one is the original, other is the reflection. Here also, in that vritti, when the Purusha Pratibimba takes place, then Aham Sukhi, Aham Dukhi happens. But the Purusha is never influenced by the modifications, Sukha Dukkha. They are manasi, they are in the mind. Then what happens? The experiences, samskar of the mind are superimposed on the Purusha, and then he becomes the Sukhi Dukhi. Otherwise, he is not influenced at all. It is only the superimposition that creates an illusion of Sukhiness, Dukhiness. Now, here in this Upanishadic mantra, it is said, Tayo anyaha pippalam swadumatti. The Samanya Purusha is influenced by all this karma, ashaya, klesha, etc. But the other one, anashnan, asansprushtaha. Anashnan, abhichakashiti. He is existing in his own glory. So, in these two, the one who is going through the experiences, good and bad, he will be called as the Samanya Purusha or the Jiva. And the one who is living very much in the heart of everything and being, but not influenced by any one of them, will be the Purusha Vishesha Ishvara. So, Pranavasya Japaha, Pranav Abhidheyasya cha Ishvarasya Bhavanam. Therefore, when we do the Pranava Japa, Pranavasya Japaha, Pranava Abhidheyasya cha Ishvarasya Bhavanam, then Dhyanam Kartavyam. So, you chant on Om. And here also, if you are trying to practice it, understand it and do experiments on yourself. You know, the beauty of Yoga Shastra is experiment on yourself. Remember, 2 years before we had here conference, Yoga Research and the Value Education. There I had very clearly mentioned that the yoga research can be conducted by the researcher on himself. It cannot be conducted on others. Because you tell others, okay, now you keep your mind quiet and we will take the observation. But why should I be going? They will add to eyes, but he will not know. And then your graph goes up. Like that. So, here, try all these things on you. Like, Om, 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 with this much length of Om, Tajjapa. Then increase the length. Om, Om, Om. Then third step, increase still longer. Now, the last leap, the gap between the two Omkars increase as much as you can before any dissimilar thought is likely to appear. Now in this silence following the Om, so Tajjapa, and in this silence Tadartha Bhavanam. So these are the two stages of this sutra. Tajjapa Tadartha Bhavanam. So the silence which follows the chanting of Om, in that silence do the bhavana of Ishvara. So, चित्त अस्य योगिनः प्रणवं जपतः प्रणवस्य उच्चारणं कुर्वतः प्रणवार्थं च भावयतः चित्त एकाग्रम संपद्यते. The chitta becomes ekagra. And this is said in the Vishnu Puran. What is said there? Swadhyayat yogamasita yogat swadhyayamanen swadhyaya yoga sampatya Paramatma prakashate. This comes from the Vishnu Puran, where it is said, Swadhyayat, by the continuous chanting of Om. And this is what the Swadhyaya is defined in our Yoga Shastra, where we are told in the Kriya Yoga. What is the Kriya Yoga? Tapaswadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. This is the Kriya, the meaning of Swadhyaya is Om. In Vedanta, the meaning of the word Swadhyaya is study of the scriptures, clearing the doubts about Jiva Jagat Ishvara, and Swadhyaya is observing your own mind. How our mind reacts, how our mind is disturbed, etc., etc. So, Sadhyayat, Nirantara Onkar Japat, Nirantara Pranava Japat, Yogam, Dhyanam, Ishwarartha Bhavanam Asita. In this manner, one should continue the Bhavana of the Ishvara. Then, Kuryaditartha, Sampadayet, then further, Yogat, Swadhyayam Amaned, and by the practice of the yoga, then again continue this chanting of the Om. In this manner, these two, do the bhavana of the Ishvara and also keep chanting the Om. By this, what happens? Paramatma prakashate. The Paramatma is revealed. Swadhyaya yoga sampatya. Swadhyayasya yogasya cha sampattihi yathavat sampurtihi. Taya swadhyaya yoga sampatya. So when we have attained perfection in the Swadhyaya, that is Pranava Japa, Nirantara and Bhavana of the Ishvara, by this Parameshvaraha or Paramatma Prakashate, Prasidati, the Lord is propitiated. And what is the propitiation of the Lord? We are able to attain the Sampradnyat Samadhi, then Viveka Khyati, Asampradnyat Yoga and Kaivalya. This is what will be said in the 29th Sutra. Kincha Asya Bhavati. So this yogi who is thus doing the Pranava Japa and Dhyana, Bhavana, what does he get in addition to? So this is said, Tataha Pratyak Chetana Adhigamaha Apyantaraya Bhavascha Tataha by the practice of this pranava japa and the pranava dhyana, tad japa tadartha bhavanam, by that pratyak chetana adhigamaha. Pratyak chetana adhigamaha, the Purusha or the Jivatma, adhigama means recognition, attainment. Adhigama, to know. Gama gacchati dhatu, when you add adhi as a upasarga, it becomes adhigamyate, knows. So, pratyak chetana adhigamaha, pratyak chetana upalabdhi. By the word api, so pratyak chetana adhigamaha api antaraya bhavascha. Here api means and. So, and also the one is able to attain oneness with the Paramatma as well as the antaraya abhavascha. All the obstacles disappear. Therefore, pratyak pratitam. So, the one which is going to the self, not going away from. So, these are the two words. One is pratyak and one is parank. So, the root is ancha gacchati. So, paranchikhani Vetruna swayambhu tasmat paran pashyati nantaratman kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat avrutta chakshuhu amrutatvam. Where we have seen this? Kathopanishad. So, our senses are by nature extrovert. So, if we keep on sitting on the senses, we will be extrovert. Similarly, the other word is pratyak atmanam aikshat. So, in the same mantra, we have got both the words. Paran and pratyak. So, pratyak chetanadhigamaha, the one comes to discover his own essential conscious being. So, pratipam viparitam anchati vijanati di pratyang sacha asau chetanaha chaiti pratyak chetanaha avidyavan purushaha antarayanam yoga marga sambhavit vignanam. And also, what are the sambhaviti vigna? What are the obstacles which are possible? They are also erased. They are also reduced by this. Therefore, ye tavad antarayaha vyadhi prabhrutayaha. So, what are the obstacles? Now, Bhagavan Vedavyasa Bhashya tells us, ye tavad antarayaha vignaha vyadhi prabhrutayaha. So, the vigna are of three types. According to our Vedanta, which are the vigna? We do Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik and Adhyatmik. These three types of vigna. Here it is said Vyadhi Adayaha. Because Yoga Shastra is talking about the individual, the seeker. Therefore, the vigna for the yogis are at the level of the body is called as vyadhi. And therefore, yogis always mention that shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam. We have to keep our body perfectly well. That is why for that yoga, your yogasana, pranayam, etc. Then the second obstacle which come, they are at the level of the mind. So the mind is always in the Kshipta Mudha or the Vikshipta Bhumika. That is called as Adi. With reference to body, Vignas are called as Vyadhi. With reference to the mind, Sukshma Deha is called as the Adi. And the Vigna with reference to the causal body is the Samadhi. See? So, Vyadhi, Adi, Samadhi. These are the three obstacles. So, you struggle for the Samadhi and Samadhi never happens. So, all these Vignas will be taken care of. So, Vyadhi Prabhrutayaha te tavad Ishvara Pranidhanat na bhavanti. So, when we are practicing our Yogabhyas in association with the invocation of the Ishvara Tattva, then all these obstacles do not trouble us. Now, if you remember the instruction which I have been giving in meditation, what was the instruction? One of them, that when you are sitting for meditation, always remember that the Ishvara or your Ishta Devata is in your heart and Guru Maharaj is present. So what the Ishvara does? He protects us and he takes care of our being. So there is nothing to be worried about. And then what the Guru Maharaj does? He guides us on the path of meditation. When this some kind of alambana support is within us, then for such a seeker there is no fear. One can go ahead very fast. Like the children, even if they have to go to the other room in the bathroom at night, they will tell, Mummy, you come. No, what will I do there? You go. No, you come there. I feel afraid. Okay, you go. I am standing here. And I am talking to you, therefore I am nearby, and she goes on talking. But why don't you come and stand over here? I am feeling afraid. So we want some kind of support. Now when you are practicing meditation, you close your eyes, nose, tongue, taste, everything you close. And then you feel, my God, all alone. Now what will happen to me? And because of this fear, what happens? Many people crack the joints in meditation. This is nothing but, because of fear you want to hold on to something. Oh, the hands are still there. Never mind. See? Or else, those who are able to conquer the fear, they enter the sleep. Muda bhumika, they straight away go to sleep. And therefore, all these vignas are removed when you do the pranava japa. So, this is one. Na bhavanti. Then swarupa darshanam asya bhavati. The second thing is swarupa darshanam api asya bhavati. This sadhaka, the jivatma, the purusha vishesha, the purusha is able to recognize his essential self. And further, yatha ishvaras purusha shuddha prasanna kevala anupasarga tathapi ayam api buddhehe pratisamvedi purushaha iti evam adhigacchati. Just like the Purusha Vishesha Ishvara is untouched, is Shuddha, Prasanna, Kevala, is untouched by any impurities of the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In the same manner, this sadhak also, Buddhehe Pratisamvedi, he is exactly pure like the Ishvara, and in this manner, evam adhigacchati, he recognizes the truth that he is. In this manner, what was said in the third sutra, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam, which is attained through the yoga abhyas, the same thing is attained also through the Ishvara pranidhanat. This is how these sutras are taking us to the same destination, asamprajnat samadhi yoga and kaivalya prapti. Now when it was said here, antaraya bhavascha, there is the absence of the obstacles. Now which are those obstacles? Now those obstacles are enumerated in the 30th sutra. We will take it in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.